Today, we're going to be making Humpty Dumpty from the nursery rhyme. And just like in the nursery rhyme, our Humpty Dumpty is going to be falling off of the wall. So we're going to use some of these supplies to make our picture 3D. So here's what we're going to use today. We're going to use a white piece of paper for Humpty Dumpty, a red piece of paper for the wall, and we're going to use 2 strips to make a little spring to make him pop off of the page so it looks like he's really falling off of the wall. The first step that I'm going to do is make my Humpty Dumpty. So I'm going to take my white piece of paper and a Sharpie, and I'm going to draw Humpty Dumpty. I think Humpty Dumpty is an egg. So I'm going to use my Sharpie to make a big oval shape that takes up most of my paper. But I'm going to give him some pants, so I'm going to put a line right across the middle. Then I'm going to do 2 curvy lines to make a little rectangle for his leg. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. But I'm not going to make his legs straight. They're going to be kind of flailing around as if he was falling off of the wall. Then I'm going to do little ovals for his shoes. I'm going to give him some arms that are curving up too. And give some fingers there. It's okay if he doesn't have 5 fingers because he's imaginary. That means we made him up. Do eggs really have arms and fingers? Nope. So I can give him 4 fingers if I want to. Then I'm going to give him some ovals for his eyes there. And if he was falling off the wall and he was really scared, his pupils might be really tiny. Usually people's pupils get really small if they're scared. Then I might make a frown here and make his mouth open like he's yelling, "Ah, I'm falling off of the wall." And I'm going to color that in with my Sharpie. Usually we don't color in with Sharpies, but it's okay if it's a small area like the mouth. Then I'm going to give my Humpty Dumpty a hat. So maybe I'll make him wear a baseball hat today with a little bill right there, and maybe he'll have stripes on his hat. You can give your Humpty Dumpty a bow or some hair or whatever you want. It just kind of helps to add something on top of his head that you can color in. Now I'm going to use crayons to color this in, and then I'm going to cut out my Humpty Dumpty. There, my Humpty Dumpty is all done. I'm going to save the scraps from my Humpty Dumpty paper to use for later on. So I'm going to put those off to the side, as well as Humpty, so I don't lose him. Then I'm going to get out my red rectangle, and I'm going to make this the wall from the nursery rhyme. The wall is going to be sideways. That means the rectangle is longer on the sides. I don't want a tall, skinny wall. That won't have enough room for my Humpty Dumpty to go on top of it. So I'm going to make it shorter and longer like this. And I'm going to take my Sharpie, and I'm going to draw lines going from one side all the way to the other side. And I want those lines to be kind of far apart because these are going to be bricks in my wall. And if they're too close together, then the bricks will be too small and it will take me a really long time to make my wall. Then I'm going to make lines going up and down on the first row. These are the little bricks. Then on the next row, I'm going to make the lines going right in the middle of the 2 lines that I put on the top row. When somebody's making a brick wall, they always put the bricks a little bit off to the center so that the lines don't all go straight down. That would make their brick wall really weak. So I'm going to put the lines in the middle to show that my brick wall is very strong. There. Now I'm ready to glue my wall onto my paper. So I'm going to get out my glue stick, and I'm going to put the glue on the smaller piece of paper. In this case, it's the red wall. The red piece of paper is smaller than my blue piece of paper, so that's where I want to trace the glue on top of. I'm just going to trace a little rectangle, make a little X, and then put it right close to the bottom. Rub-a-dub-dub. There. Now I'm ready for Humpty Dumpty to sit on the wall. And then he can have a great fall. So to make him fall off the paper, I need to make a little spring for him. So I'm going to take my 2 strips of paper, and I chose purple and pink because that's what I had in my scrap box. it doesn't matter what color these strips are because nobody's going to see them. I'm going to make a little spring, which is like a little coil, that will pop my Humpty Dumpty off of the page. So to do that, I'm going to put my corners of my papers together so that they make this L shape. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue right there on the bottom just to hold it in there while I'm getting started. So I'm going to put a little glue right there and then hold it on together. Now I have an L. The purple one is going sideways and the pink one is going up and down. To make it a coil or a little spring, what you need to do is make the color that's on the corner get covered up by the other color. So right now the color that's showing on the corner is purple. So I'm going to cover it up with my pink paper. So I'm just going to fold it right on top of it and make my pink paper go down. Now it kind of looks like half of a T and the corner is pink now. So I'm going to cover up the corner with the purple instead. I'm going to fold it and now it kind of looks like a backwards T the other way. But now the corner is purple, so I'm going to cover it up with pink again by folding the pink up this time. Now it looks like an L but backwards. So now my pink corner, I need to fold it with the purple and cover it up. Now it's an L again, but a little bit shorter. I'm going to keep folding my colors until there's no more paper left. There, I'm all done. Now there's some little leftover strips that didn't quite cover up the corner. So I'm just going to cut those off so it will be easier for me to glue it together. But you don't have to. It doesn't ruin it and you can still make your spring work. I just like to do it where it's a perfect square so that I can know where to put my glue. So on the last fold, I'm just going to open it up kind of like a lid and put a little bit more glue right there. That holds my spring together now that it's all done. There. Now my pink and my purple are kind of combined into a little spring that will pop my Humpty Dumpty right off the page. So here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to glue Humpty Dumpty onto the spring first. So I'm going to put some glue right on top of that square, and then I'm going to put my Humpty Dumpty on top of that. I'm going to hold him down. Since it's not flat, the spring wants to pop him up off the paper. I have to hold it for a little bit longer than you normally would when you're using a glue stick. Maybe you could even count quietly in your head to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and then I'm going to check, did that work? Yeah. So now I'm going to glue the spring onto my paper so it looks like Humpty is falling off. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back of my spring, and then I'm going to turn my Humpty a little bit sideways maybe to show that he's falling. And then I'm going to hold it down again. Remember, it's not flat, so I'm going to have to hold it for a few more seconds. Maybe I'll count to 10 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There. I think I'm going to do a little shake test and see. Did it stay on? Yeah, he's holding on there pretty good. And it looks like he's falling right off of the wall. Now my sky is looking kind of empty. So here's where I'm going to grab my scraps from my Humpty Dumpty page, and I'm going to cut out some clouds to put in the sky. If you want, you can trace the cloud shapes first and then cut them out. But since clouds are just random poofy shapes, I don't think I need to do that. I'm just going to cut out some little poofs on the white and glue them in the sky. There, I'm all done. If you're hanging this up in this classroom, you'll want to write your name somewhere in the sky so everybody knows which Humpty is yours. But hopefully it looks just like the nursery rhyme. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. I hope you had fun creating with me today. Thanks for watching.